If you're a fan of using the crock pot year round and you're feeling those spring vibes, you're gonna love these recipes. Welcome to Meals with Maria. Today I have 3 delicious spring feeling crock pot recipes for you. I feel like as the seasons change, we still wanna use our crock pot, but you kinda wanna switch up the type of recipes they're using. I tried 3 new delicious, amazing, feeling like spring is sprung or spring is springing as it may be, and they were fabulous. They're gonna make you really feel all the spring spirit, all the herbs, all of the flavors. We're gonna get started on a truly delicious chicken piccata in the crock pot. This is so spring, so delicious, you're gonna love it. So I have 4 chicken cutlets here. If my husband was home, I would probably have more, but he's away for work tonight, so it's just the kids and me, so that's gonna be plenty for us. And we're gonna get started with about a 1/2 cup of flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. You wanna give that a good little mix. And I'm just gonna dredge these chicken cutlets in the flour. Over here on my stove, I don't love crock pot recipes where you have to do something ahead of time, but the truth is right now I have some time, but later I won't. So it is the kind of perfect recipe for if you have time in the morning or in the afternoon, but you're just not gonna have time at dinner time. You can, cook up a little bit before and then you get it in the crock pot, and then you don't have to cook anything during that crazy time of night. So I'm just gonna brown up these pieces of chicken in about 2 tablespoons of butter. And then the rest of it we'll just do in the crock pot. They don't even need to be like too brown, so I said I had time, but I don't have that much time. Kind of in a rush. So we'll just flip them. We'll just get them a little crispy on the sides. Should be okay, right? My senses are on like overload right now because this smells so delicious with the brown butter. You can see everything kind of did get crispy here, which is perfect. And then I also squeezed the juice of 2 lemons, and it was getting like that lemonade feeling, like when you get that fresh squeezed lemonade at like a fair or something. And it's finally getting nice out here, and it just feels like I could really go for some fresh squeezed lemonade right now. That sounds delicious. I'm actually sad like leaving that buttery like chickeny mixture. I wish I could cook it up, and I guess that's what makes the piccata so good when you're not doing it in the crock pot. So this is a mixture of 1/2 cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice and then 1/2 cup of broth. You can use just like chicken broth, bone broth. I'm sure you can use vegetable broth as well. Or you could do like 1/2 cup of water and 1/2 tablespoon of chicken bouillon, and that would work too. Oh, and 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. You're gonna want that too. And then you want a 1/2 cup of butter. If I had time, I'd probably cut this up, but we're just gonna go for it and hope for the best because that is the kind of time we have right now. And then we need 3 tablespoons of capers, but we're just gonna eyeball this because gotta get to the doctor's appointment. Don't wanna be late. Yeah. I did drain this out, so it shouldn't be too much caper juice, but I don't know. I've never had too many capers. Delicious. Seriously delicious. I almost forgot. 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. You don't want to forget that because lots of flavor in there. So this says cook it on high for 3 hours, but I'm gonna give it a shot on low because I just feel like my crock pot always cooks so hot. Okay, this has been 3 hours on high and it's definitely done. It smells incredible. And look at that, that's definitely some chicken piccata right there. This is gonna be so delicious, I know it. I am hyped. Yes, this was as good as it looks. It was absolutely amazing. I just served it over some wild rice with a little quinoa mixture, and then I made these green beans up from Diane Morrissey on Instagram. Amazing. These will be in upcoming videos, so make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that one. For this one, we're making a slow cooker sausage and peppers. This is so delicious, especially in a roll, and you can even kick it up a notch by putting some cheese over it and broiling it. Holy moly, it is delicious. We're gonna start by getting together our mise en place, as they say. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce it. I have, as we do, some peppers that I've already taken pieces out of for other meals, but hey, this is what we're gonna use because my kids don't even like peppers that much, and with these crock pot meals, my husband's been out of town for these, so, which is why it's so great to do them when he's out of town because it makes it easy because I've got 3 kids on my hands and a house and a business. So we're gonna slice up the peppers and this whole onion, and then we're gonna get some stuff started in the crock pot. All right, we're gonna mix up our sauce, and you could totally do just your favorite pasta sauce. I've done that many times, still delicious in the crock pot, but this one calls for crushed tomatoes, and hey, I had a can of crushed tomatoes, so we're gonna use what we have, just so it doesn't stay in the pantry forever. Tablespoon of olive oil, you know, generous. Teaspoon of oregano, and a pinch of red pepper. I think it is gonna give a nice flavor. Normally I wouldn't do this with the kids, but it's really not a lot, so I feel like it really just will zest it up a bit. Just gonna give this a little stir, add in our onions, add in the peppers. The onions in particular, I really wanna make sure that they get kind of broken up and they're not just sitting all in one spot. And then we're gonna add in 1 pound of Italian sausage. I have sweet sausage. If you prefer spicy, then do that.
I wouldn't do spicy.
You wouldn't?
No.
Julian says no spicy for us, which is perfect because I have sweet. You excited about this meal, Julian? Just gonna give this a cover and cook it on low for 6 hours. Okay, I just got home from swim lessons with the kiddos. Oh yeah. I think it's looking pretty good, but we're gonna kick it up a notch. Just gonna take these, put them inside some buns on a sheet pan, sprinkle them with some mozzarella cheese, and then broil that for just a minute just to get that cheese all nice and melty. And they're gonna be absolutely incredible. This one is a quinoa chicken primavera right in the slow cooker. It is so springy. I am so excited about it. I particularly like this one because I'm gonna be able to use up the rest of my quinoa that I have sitting in my closet. I don't make quinoa all the time, so when I do buy it, sometimes it sits around for a little while, which is why I was excited to see a quinoa recipe, and hopefully this is one that I can put in the rotation. We're gonna put 1.5 cups of quinoa right into the bottom of your slow cooker. About 1 pound of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We're gonna end up kind of shredding this up and putting it into the mixture afterwards, so don't worry about it, they're just whole like this. You want 4 cups of chicken broth or chicken bouillon, or I have some bone broth here. I also feel like if you didn't have fresh chicken breasts, that you could kind of, after the quinoa cooks and everything, add some canned chicken, and that might be really good in this because this is something where it's gonna end up like shredded up or diced up. And then I have 6 minced cloves of garlic. As always, if you don't have fresh garlic, you can use some garlic powder, probably about 3 teaspoons. Actually, 3 teaspoons is 1 tablespoon. Add some salt, not that I really need it with the broth. Pepper. About 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil, 1/2 teaspoon of dried thyme. If you have fresh herbs, go ahead and use that. I think that would taste delicious in this. And 1/2 teaspoon of dried parsley. I think those herbs and that garlic is gonna give this lots of delicious spring flavor. We're just gonna put this in our crock pot and set it to low for 3 or 4 hours. I'll probably do mine for 3 because my crock pot always cooks hot, as I've said 1,000 times. Okay, so it's been 3 hours and it should be quite thick. And that is accurate, it is. Just gonna kind of mush up this chicken. Could probably take it out and shred it. Maybe not mush the quinoa. Depends on how much you care. So the quinoa appears to be cooked perfectly, which I'm really excited about. We're gonna add 3 cups of chicken broth, chicken bouillon. You can even just use water and a little bit of salt. You want about 2.5 cups of frozen peas. I love pesto, so I'm just using this store-bought pesto right here. You can obviously use your own homemade. It's 6.7 ounces, and there's a note on this recipe that says to use a like 6.3 ounce container, but also just to test it out and see what you think. I mean, I really don't think we're gonna go wrong with using most of this container. It's gonna be great. And then to this, we're gonna add a squeeze of lemon. You know, some of these things are gonna be what makes it so springy and fresh. This was also great because I did have that container of pesto in my pantry forever too. So this is still a very good pantry friendly meal for me, surprisingly enough. I've also even purchased pesto at the Dollar Tree before, and that pesto is delicious. So It doesn't have to be an expensive thing. It's gonna be a little bit thicker now, more like a risotto, which I think is true. It's kind of like a mushier, more of a mash. We're just gonna keep this on for just a few more minutes till these peas fully heat through and everything is warmed through. And then over here I have some oil heating in a pan, just about a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm gonna chop up some asparagus and then just toss that in here, and we're just gonna cook that up until it's a little bit brown, really cooked through for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then we're gonna place that back into the crock pot with the quinoa and serve it for dinner. If you love the taste of fresh herbs, that like really herby, light and fresh meal, this meal is gonna be amazing for you. My husband, not a huge fan of the fresh herbs, so he was not his favorite, but the kids gave it a 5 out of 5. I want to thank you so much for watching today. I hope you got some great crock pot recipes. If you're looking for some more meals in your crock pot, go ahead and click on this video and make sure the next time you're watching YouTube, you're watching Meals with Maria.